You just message me. Gotta move, move, move. All the people, all the people. Oh, that's so great. Hey, y'all. Hey, Blossom Baby. I just saw your message. I was trying to get up here. Oh, get on. Hey, Mark Mad Davis. How you doing, love? Was trying to get on up in here. Happy Life Be Life for Monday. Happy Monday. I didn't like that. Honestly, I'm tired of repeating the same cycles. I wanna let it go. So here I go, like a drop. Starting anew, path for my family, finding who I am. Thank you. Life loving me, even when I fall. 'Cause life be life in our soul. Life be life in our soul. 'Cause life be life in our soul. Life be life in our soul. Hey, how y'all feeling tonight? How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? Hey, Sky Bear, how are you, love? Honestly, I'm tired. Glad you guys are here. Thank you for liking the screen. Let me see if I can share this real quick. Life be life, baby. How y'all feeling tonight? Life be life in our soul. 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 All right, okay, I'm done singing that. How y'all feeling tonight? What I do with my water? It's over there. Anyways, how are you guys? Happy Life Be Life on Monday. It's me, your host, Portia O. Here once again to do a episode recap of my podcast, Life Be Lifin'. Today, season 3, episode 2 drops at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please go over there and do that right now. Okay, it's a YouTube icon right in my bio. Click it. Thank you, mommy. Click it. Go in there and subscribe so you can get all the notifications every time I upload a video. I'm posting, I post pretty much the same content here, but when you miss my lives here, I repost them over there, okay? So you can go watch my lives, my live workouts, my live talks, my live cooking. Also, it's being posted over there once a week, so yeah, go on over here to YouTube to see all the things, okay? And watch all the things and all of that. Thank you for sharing. Hey, Theo. Hey, Lincoln. How y'all feeling? Welcome to Life Be Life on Monday, okay? So today we're going to be recapping episode 12 in season 2, which is talking about... I titled this episode, It's Been Complicated. Thank you, Theo. And this episode is my discussion on where I was within my grief process. Talking about grief, essentially. But all of these episodes have something to do with me. So yeah, I was just talking through where I have been and where I am in my grief. Um, so if this is your first time here, this Monday Live is for everyone to participate in. You are welcome in the box if you would like to share your story and we can talk about it. Again, this is just a recap of the episode. I really would encourage you to go watch the full episode so you can get all the little nuggets, all the tea, all the things. But this space here is to engage with you all and hear your stories, and we talk and really connect and relate. Okay, so yeah, so again, this episode is talking about grief and the cycles and the different stages of it, essentially. So one of the questions that I asked was that's so funny. The first question I asked is, what is wrong with me? Why would I ask that? What is wrong with me? Has anybody else been confined by grief to the point that you just like, what is wrong with me? Like, why can I not get out of this space? Why am I still feeling this way? Why? Like, I really felt like something was wrong with me because, I felt like I shouldn't be in this space for this long. And it's so funny. I recently lost one of my childhood friends from my church, my home church. And they laid her to rest this past weekend. And I saw one of her relatives post today and said that grief has no timing. And it really doesn't. And I discovered that within my research of this episode as well. But and life will teach you that as well, because I know people that lost their parent, their loved one, whomever, so long ago. I mean, it's maybe been 20, 30, 40 years, and they still are grieving that person. Grief has no time frame. I think we're going to grieve people, and I think it's more so with people than situations, but I can't even say that. It could be with situations too. It depends on your own personal journey, but you will grieve until you leave this earth. So it's just really interesting how at the same time society will try to tell us, oh, you should be over that by now. Like, oh, that still bother you? Like, oh, you still in that space? Like, how dare we put constraints or time restrictions upon people's grief? Like, that's ridiculous. Lincoln said, I miss my grandparents. I miss my grandfather so much, Lincoln. It's not even funny. It's not even funny. Hi, Sky Bear. How are you?
Hey,
Hey, girl. How are
hey,
you?
I'm good. I'm great. I just got in the box because I thought maybe I might have a little input on this topic.
Mm-hmm.
I lost my grandfather in 2020, and I'm still grieving now. Like, I don't think there is a time span on grief
Yeah.
at all. And you have to allow yourself to go through all the stages. When you
Mm-hmm.
skip stages or try to rush, you still be right there in that hole. You got to go right back and start from that step again and move forward. But yeah, I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna get comfy over here like I used to.
Uh, yes, yes, I totally agree. Lincoln said it's her voice. Yay! I can't. But yes, yes. It does not matter. It's the time. Time is an illusion anyhow. Like, we sit here and be like, oh, it's been 6 months, oh, it's been a year, oh, it's been 5 years. Like, time is an illusion. And that's why it still hurts. And it still feels like it just happened. And it still feels so fresh and so new. Um, and time has passed and elapsed, and you still feel that same way. So I think it's important that you don't think anything is wrong with you like I did. Like, I really had to question that, like, what's wrong with me? But there's nothing wrong with me. I'm right where I'm supposed to be within this journey, and that's okay. Okay. So another question I asked was, when will it end? Which is, we already kind of answered that, right? I don't know if it will ever end. I don't know if it will ever end. But again, to each his own. Maybe you come, we, like I talk about in this episode, was about I believe the one of the last stages of grief is radical acceptance. Once you get to that point, I think it kind of like, I don't want to say makes it easier, but it's like, okay, even though it still hurts, I have a better understanding or foundation with this grief process than I started out with, right? Hey Darren, how are you, love? Cherish the precious memories. Exactly. Right. So you can kind of like just reflect back on those moments and you still be like, man, I miss them. Like, my heart hurts that they're not here, but it's okay. All will be well. All
I
will
have
be
my
well.
virtual hand up. Thank you, Lincoln. But thank you for
I
gifting
can't
my
see your
sissy.
virtual hand.
It's right here. You don't see it?
I
Look.
can't.
So, you know what I just thought
Hey,
about?
James.
Hey, James. Um, I think the hardest grieving that you can do, unfortunately, I don't think, sometimes I think the hardest grieving you can do is grieving yourself, your old self, who you
Mm.
used to be,
Mm-hmm.
some of the habits you may have had, some of the
Mm-hmm.
way you may have thought. Those things were comfortable or, what you knew. And so you've been there for so many years. It's
Mm-hmm.
hard to mature sometimes for people or transform into this new person. Hey, hustle man.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Agreed. Because you trying to figure out like who you are without that person, without a situation, without a relationship. Like, it can be very difficult. And then you be like, oh, but like you said, reflecting on how you were before. But before was even just 5 minutes ago. So listen, we can't continuously live in the past. We have to keep moving forward. And it's unhealthy to live in a specific time frame. Like, that you're no longer there. We got to move forward. We got to evolve. We got to grow. That's the whole point of this thing called life. God gives us another chance, opportunity to grow and be better. He doesn't want us to stay stagnant. He wants us to experience some things and learn things from our experiences. So, yeah. There's that. Another question I asked was, where am I in my grief? And I think that's a very important question to ask yourself if you are dealing with grief. Because if you are still in the beginning stages of, shock and confusion, essentially, or anger, because, especially if it was something you felt like you could have prevented, um, which we do that to ourselves a lot. We don't give ourselves enough grace, and we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to be somewhere that we're not meant to be. Like I already said, like, wherever you are on your journey, you are meant to be in that space. However long it is that you need to be in that space in order to make it to the next part. So give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. Be nice to you. Okay. But I think it is important that you recognize where you are within your grief, because I think sometimes too we get so lost in it, especially in beginning stages. I think I was in shock for like 3 years. Hell, I don't know. I might still be in shock, but it's rough. It is rough. Okay, it is a rough space to be in. Thank you so much for the heart puffs, Sky Bear. Um, what is James talking about? Lord Jesus, Tomasa, he grieving you. I can't. Um, so yeah, I think it's important to do your research, but I will go through the different stages of grief on here today. But if you are experiencing grief, just to see where you at, just to gauge, because I think we be clouded a lot of times, especially in those initial stages, and we don't see Like you're giving off really angry all the time and you don't even know that you're being angry. You know, I talked about that in this second season too, about me being angry and not realizing that I was angry. But it showed up in so many different ways. Thank you, best friend. Um, but yeah, it's important to recognize self-awareness, like reevaluate what's happening with you. Okay. Um, Another question I ask myself is why have I been in this place? Okay, that was redundant. Anyway, the last question is how can I fix this? Okay. Anybody else out there is a Mr. or Mrs. Fix It? Because baby, I'll be over here trying to fix all the things all the time. And I have very much so realized that is not my responsibility to fix everything, especially when it's not directly dealing with Portia. It's somebody else's stuff, and it's not my job. Nope, I just let it all fall apart like the roots. Sky is a lie. Don't believe her. That's why Sky and lie rhyme, because she's a liar.
Wait a get calm down. Be calm. Be calm.
I try my best to fix things. Yeah, Lincoln. I do too, but sometimes to my own detriment, right? And that's never where anybody should be. Like, you shouldn't be in that position. It's okay to want to help people or, you know, to fix things, but when it's out of your control, baby, it's out of your control. And ain't nothing you can do about it. But with the grief aspect, how can I fix this? I think the fix is to feel. I think the fix is to feel it. We try to avoid, we try to push down, we try to not face it, we try to act like it ain't happening. That's not fixing it. But how you can fix it is to feel it.
Sometimes, though, I feel like life does not allow you the space to feel it because the same stuff's still going on. You know what I'm saying? Nothing
Yes.
changes. Bills still got to get paid. You still got to go to work. Kids still need to be fed. Still got to go to work. Like sometimes you don't have that time to do that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Agreed. Agreed. I don't know what I was listening to today or yesterday that kind of said that, like, you don't have time because you just be busy living life, right? But again, I think it's important when you are suffering or agonizing in a situation for so long, like when are you going to take that moment to be like, I need to carry this differently? You know what I'm saying? Like, we all know the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. You can't keep doing that and expect things to change or magically you just feel better and it all goes away. That's never how it's going to happen. You're going to actually have to do some work. You're going to actually have to show up for yourself. You're going to actually have to, you know, feel it. Hey, Callie, how you doing, love? How you doing? Thank you for joining. So, yes, we get caught up in our life, in our day-to-days and different things like that. And it can be very, very overwhelming. But I think it is important that, yeah, all of these questions are reflective on your insight on yourself. This don't have to be a discussion amongst the masses or anything like that. This is a self-reflective moment that you're having with yourself about where you are and just trying to gauge like how to be better in that space. Not for anybody else. This is all about you. So, yeah, it's been complicated for me. I don't know if anybody else has found it to be complicated, but it has been complicated for me. All right. Thank you for sharing the live, Callie. Appreciate you, love. Um,
Um,
yeah, go,
I
boo.
will say, on this journey that I am on now, I realize that sometimes it doesn't have to be that complicated.
Mm-hmm.
James, if you share the live with me one more time, we're gonna fight. So it doesn't have to be that complicated. Um, not trying to get all deep. Excuse me, girls. Not
Yes.
trying to get all deep, but the Bible tells us, to don't worry about the past, don't worry about the future, worry about the present and this moment right now. Because
Mm-hmm.
he feeds the birds, he takes care of everything else. Why wouldn't he take care of you?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not fully there, or maybe 25% on my journey. I'm so sorry for these kids. Hey, yo,
It's okay. Let them be great.
they over here eating Takis, knowing it's spicy and still want to eat it. Um, So, you know, um, but when I learned that, I'm not gonna like stress about this or be so anxious about what's about to happen 30 days from now, 60 days from now, it kind of is a little bit more peaceful. Anxiety's down, nerves is down, and you just worry about what you can deal with in that present moment. And it does take a lot of work because you're like, well, if I don't, who gonna do it? But somebody gonna do it because it always get done.
Yes, and it does.
You
But
know,
yeah, yeah, I think it's releasing that control aspect of it. Um, but that's why I'm saying, like, who is the Mr. and Mrs. Fix It? Because we always trying to fix some stuff and trying to make everything okay for everybody. Like, sometimes you just need to take your hand off and chill, okay? Hey, Fila, how you doing, love? Just relax. Um, but like I said, it don't have to be complicated, but when you are in that process, hey, Mr. Reese, how you doing, love? When you are in that process of figuring out how to show up for yourself, it can be, but when you like you said, you taking steps to figure out how to like relax, breathe, just chill, like, yeah. But everybody in different spaces of their journey, so that's where we be at. So for those who don't know, we're reviewing episode 12 of season 2 of Life Be Life and Podcast, talking about the title of this episode was It's Been Complicated, and this episode is breaking down grief, okay? Um and so I list the different stages of grief. And so for those who don't know, the first stage of grief is shock. All right. Well, yeah, this is typically what people engage in initially. But before I get read that, I want to read this one part. So I was saying like how long it take, because that's been like the major question for me in my journey. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I just want this to stop. Like I guess it's more so like the pain, the hurt, the frustration, the agony, whatever. I just want it to stop. I want to be better in the place with this. And I think it's something to be said about grieving people that are still here on this earth. It's a little different than grieving somebody that you will never have another chance, opportunity to engage with, right? And even though they're both losses, one is much more final than the other, right? But so I think that's why my questioning is always like, how long? Because I just want to let this go. But according to studies, symptoms of grief usually resolve after 1 to 2 years. So, like Sky said earlier, while I was sitting up here trying to rush the process along because I just want to stop feeling so burdened by it, it's totally normal for the symptoms of grief to last for a few years. Okay, so don't feel that way. Don't let society, your family, your friends, anybody make you feel any type of way. If you still feel some type of way about losing someone that you're no longer connected to, okay, it's totally normal. There's nothing wrong with you. You are fine. All right. So going back to the stages of grief. Um, been missing y'all. Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Reeves. Miss you too, love. So shock is the first stage, and you just be numb and in disbelief and all those things or whatever when it's concerning grieving someone or a situation or whatever. And I jokingly said, but also honestly said, I think I am still in a sense a stage of shock. Like it's not as prevalent as it was in the beginning, but as I continue to take steps within this journey of disconnecting from someone that I love, it is, I think it's still a shock to my system in moments, and I just be like, dang, I'm really doing this. Like, this really about to be over. Like, I've really had to go through this process, right? And so, again, these stages, it's levels to this. It's not my shock isn't to the level it was when it all initially went down, but it is like prevalent the more and more things happen, right? And the next stage of grief is shock said it may serve as an emotional buffer to prevent someone from feeling overwhelmed. And I honestly believe that to be true. The second stage is denial. Hello. A lot of us love to live there. In many ways. And many ways. Okay. Sky, have you experienced shock and or denial within your grieving process?
Yeah, but I don't think my denial looks like what everybody would think denial was. So when my grandfather passed away,
Mm-hmm.
we were just like, it wasn't his time to go. He just went to the hospital. He was supposed to come back home the next day. The hospital did something. They didn't do all they can do. And, my aunt trying to sue the hospital and stuff. And I'm like, my grandfather was 89 years old. Like, that type of like, it's not like, he was 40 something and he went in, you know what I'm saying? So like, I
Yeah.
really had to accept that fact. Like, he was an elderly man. He lived a wonderful life, but it was that
Yeah.
stage of denial where it's like, they did something wrong because, well, he's supposed to live forever. I don't know what I was expecting, you know?
Yeah. I think we all think that, right? Like, we lose a loved one. I mean, we all know that going from this earth, I was trying to find the TikTok way to say it. Going from this earth, leaving this earth is the circle of life. Like, we all are born, we all live, and we all leave. Okay? That's inevitable. We will all go through that process. But I don't think that while we're living, we hyper focus on, like, the older we get, the older our parents, our loved ones, our greats, and all of that gets, we think like, oh, they'll be leaving soon. And I do honestly have those thoughts more and more, because I am um, super intentional about it, especially after losing my grandfather. He was the first person I lost that was very near and dear to my heart. That I like grew up with all my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was a second dad to me. So to lose him was just like, man. And I even, like you said, I mean, he was, how old was my granddaddy? Child. 70, was he 70? 72-ish, maybe 70, 72-ish. How old is they now? I don't know. Anyway, but the point is, I was still like, it was too soon. Like, people get to have their grandparents until they like 80, 90. Like, why do mine have to leave so soon? And I think it is a part that we don't realize is, we know it's going to happen. It's just like, oh, I still got time. I was still in my mid 20s when my grandfather passed. I still had time to show up as the young lady that he has raised me up to be. And I still had time to, have a family and get married and have my children, and they get to have him as a great grandfather. I still have time, but I didn't, because his time came to an end before all of that. I swear I'll be missing y'all being live. Oh, thank you so much, Callie. Please do this more often. For sure. I'll be here every Monday at 5:45-ish p.m. Central Standard Time doing these recap episodes. But yeah. I
You
don't
see
think...
my virtual hand? You can't see it?
No,
Look,
why do you keep saying that?
I'm going to put it down in the chat.
What the heck? I'm like, am I really supposed to be seeing something on your screen? Because I don't.
I think one of the hardest grieves is to grieve someone that is still here.
I said that.
Oh, you did? Oh, I must have zoned out. Y'all
You know
know I be going to
what?
the clouds. Hey.
I can't.
Must have zoned out. Alrighty then. Hello, Portia. Hello, Sky.
Hey, how are you, Lincoln?
Hey,
I'm good.
Lincoln.
I'm well. I'm well.
Not that voice. Wait. I'm not
I just
gonna
want to
fight with
say about as far as grief goes,
y'all.
you have to just cherish the good memories that you have with the little one that you lost. So
Yeah.
if it's somebody you really, really cherish, just think of the good times, the funny times, instead of the sad times. And I think that'll work out better with how you take it and how you go through it.
Yeah.
So
For sure. It's like, and yes, that's what I was saying with my grandfather. He was sick or whatever, and me and my spouse had just got married in secret. And I had just celebrated him and my grandmother's 50th wedding anniversary that February. And then he got sick again after that. And in that June, we got married in May. And that June, my dad was like, I need to come to Georgia because he was really sick and they were going to pull the plug. So anyway, I think I was just like, man, I was right. I was just about to, show you the woman that I am, all the great things. And then boom, like you
yeah,
leave. And it was just like a hit to the system or whatever. And I don't think I was in denial because I was there for the last, couple of days. But it was still like, I think I was in denial before he even passed, like he was going that route. You know what I'm saying?
thank you, Scott.
It was just
Okay.
it was just
Hold on, thank you.
really a really difficult time, but um it is what it is. But like Scott said, and I was saying earlier, that grieving someone that is still here, I don't know what's worse. I really don't
Girl,
want to.
I think it's the grieving while the person's still here, right? Because there's no more interaction, there's no wondering thought, what are they doing, what's happening, what's going on. I feel like it's a distraction. I mean, I'm not trying to be bad, but why do you still exist? Like out of sight, out of mind, go. Bye.
Yeah, I think it is bad. But the only reason why I said I don't know what's worse, because I don't want to offend anybody that really truly has lost someone extremely, close to them. I don't want to discount their grief. That's not the point. I'm not trying to discount
Well,
anybody's grief.
it's your opinion on what your experience is. It's definitely,
Exactly. Yeah, it's been very, very difficult. And I'm sure, I mean, it's little things that happen to me now, and I'll be like, oh, I wish my granddaddy, could see this. But it's a whole nother beast when like somebody is physically still here and little things happen, and you be like, I can't even share this because you're we're
They're
not
not here. Yeah,
you're not here.
they're no
You're
longer
not
with
supposed
us.
to be here in my space. I'm not supposed to share those moments with you anymore. I'm not supposed to have those, And that is very triggering. It's very triggering sometimes. And So anyway, denial may entail refuting the reality of your loss or any associated feelings. And that's the thing with the denial part with that, especially with a person still being here. Like, then I gotta still do things with you uh to an extent. It's just baby. But
Okay,
I think
so with that being said, why is denial so strong?
why is denial so strong? I think because we are an avoidant. A lot of us have an avoidant type of personality
Mm-hmm.
in how we
Right.
handle things. We don't want to deal with it head on. We don't want to face it forward. Like we just try to act like it's not happening because that's easier, right? And that's
Mm-hmm.
in any situation, really. Like we just don't
Right.
want to deal with it. So it's easier to deny it than to actually have to face it, accept it,
Mm-hmm.
and deal with it. Um,
Awesome.
yeah, so who wants to deal with not so good realities and hard truths? Exactly.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to do that, really. But it's necessary. It's a must in order for you to grow, to evolve, and to kind of get through this process. But we be stunning our own growth, sitting up there denying the stuff and acting like it
Yeah.
ain't happening. Like you gotta accept the reality. But
Yeah.
this is a
Knowing it
part.
happened. Yeah.
You said what?
I said knowing it happened. Yeah.
Yeah, it happened. And it's happening. Not it just happened,
Yeah.
it's happening. It's still
Right.
actively happening. Hey, Mr. Reese, how you doing, love?
Hey, how y'all doing today?
Doing all right,
Wonderful.
man. Doing all right.
Yeah, I'm here listening to you, and I don't know. I woke up this morning thinking about my dad, and he's been gone almost, I think, about 6 years now. And even when he passed away, I was in denial. I just couldn't believe it.
Mm,
This is the
Yeah.
man, and he
Yeah.
was he was my stepfather. He wasn't my real father, but he was the man who raised me and my brothers and siblings.
mm-hmm,
And he was a great man.
mm-hmm.
And it's like I was completely lost when he died. When he
Yeah,
passed away,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to accept it. I didn't want to accept it. And even to this day, I think I'm still in denial that he's gone. He's been gone a while now.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But this
I
is the
got
man I
you.
talk to every day. He always gave me good advice. He always gave my cousins good advice.
Yeah,
And he's not even here. They got so
yeah.
many
It
questions I
hurts,
could ask him
man.
right
It
now.
hurt.
We could have a whole
Scott,
long
really?
conversation
Okay.
if I had him back just for 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly, Mr. Reese. Like I got so many things I want to tell you. I could share with you. Blossom said grief is tough. It is. It is. Skyberry, you got your hand raised.
Y'all, my bad. I don't mean the sad way, but Mr. Reeves, you done had
Man,
life changing experiences going on. I don't hear no airplanes. I don't hear no TVs in the back. I don't hear no echoes in your Bluetooth. I don't hear no echoes in your Bluetooth. You had to step it up. You had to come through for 2025 hot stepping. Yes.
I don't know what planes you don't hear, but I'm sure hearing them outside my window.
Oh God.
You know, I still live over here by the airport.
He still got the soundtrack. We just ain't hearing it. You got noise cancellations going on or something. I don't know.
That is funny. That is
It,
hilarious.
it is glad. It is nice to see you ladies again.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
thank you.
Mr. Talk. P, I be checking. You know, I be checking you out when you be exercising and shit.
I
No,
know. I
when
know.
you
I
hey,
changed my time to 5:45 in the morning. But some days like today, I'll be struggling on Mondays. I ain't even gonna hold y'all. Like coming off the weekend is a little tougher. But yeah, we gonna get there. We gonna get there. But I appreciate all of y'all.
when you start training and showing people how to do the flaming ninja kick, I want to be your first student.
Okay.
Wait, what?
This is funny. Got you. I got you. No problem. No problem. Yeah. So
That's funny.
grief is a tough pill to swallow, a hard pill to
Yeah.
swallow. It is very difficult. You be wanting those moments back. And like you said, Lincoln, like it's good to hyper focus on the good times. Like I share stories of my grandfather with my
Mm-hmm.
kids, even though they never got to see them. I just showed them a picture the other day of him. And I was like, yeah, that's my granddad, and that was my papa, and he did this, and he was that, and if he saw y'all today, he'll do this, and like, those are because I know the type of person he was, and I know the type of man he was, so I can definitely smile about that. I didn't have many sad moments with him or thoughts with him other than his last few days, but even in that, I enjoyed that time that I had with him. But yeah, we do have moments of, I mean, we have stages that we go through. We be in shock, we be in denial, and it lasts a long time. And that was another thing I said earlier, Mr. Reese. Like, don't give yourself grace. Like, you still, feel how you feel, having symptoms of the grief. Like, it's still mind boggling that this person is no longer here, no longer connected to you, no longer you can talk to or touch or any of, like, it's crazy how life works. And it's not like we don't know that this is going to happen, but
Yeah.
it still shocks our system and we still get stuck in those spaces, even knowing it don't matter. So it's just really interesting, to say the least. Thank you, Melvin Hamilton, for joining. Appreciate you. Thank you, Wilkerson, for joining. Hey, what's up, people? So yeah. The next stage of grief is anger. Have y'all experienced that within y'all grief?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was mad that I wasn't able to go to the hospital the day my granddad passed. I was at FedEx at that moment. So I found out when I got home that he had unalived, and so I
Yeah.
was like, damn.
Yeah. Sky, you got your hand raised?
I want to do a mod break real quick. Hey everyone, welcome to Life Be Lifing with Portia O, your girl. Yes. Go ahead and tap up the screen real quick. We thank you for everyone for sharing this live and tapping up the screen. Let's go ahead and get your girl on the FYP for something positive for our community to get your mind right. And to answer your question about being angry, I was angry when my mom passed away, but I wasn't angry until years later. I was about 12 when my mom passed away. I wasn't angry till I was 16 when things were coming up like junior prom and certain moments in my life, and I was just like, well, I was just upset and not realizing where all this is coming from years later. As y'all can see, I'm emotionally delayed. But yes, it was years later. But yes, I was very angry. And I actually felt bad when I was angry that I was angry. Because I'm like, why
Wow.
would you be, you know what I'm saying? Like, why are
You
you
were
mad at?
angry you were angry at yourself for being angry.
Yeah,
Why?
because she couldn't help passing away.
Oh, okay. So okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, I definitely think there's an anger stage, and that's where I can think about one time when I was angry.
Yeah. Yeah. I am wonderful, Wilkerson. I hope that you are too. Welcome to Life Be Life on Monday. Appreciate you for joining. Yes, Mr. Reese, you said that you experienced this stage as well, being angry in your grief.
I was truly angry, losing both parents. Really, I could have used the advice when I first got married and things I had to figure out on my own. Now
Yeah.
they've been married so long, so they made it look so easy. But I'm like, dang,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and I didn't even have them there. So just the advice itself would have helped. So
Yeah. Well, yeah, I definitely have dealt with anger. Like I said, I did an episode talking about me discovering that I was actually freaking angry. Okay. Uh, about having to even grieve my situation. But yeah, anger, man. And I think a lot of people get caught right there and they be so angry. I know somebody right now that is going through the grieving process and they are so angry with everyone all the time. And they don't see like that's what it is essentially, but Like, man, you gotta deal with your feelings, and that's why I said we have to feel through this process. We cannot just avoid it. We cannot just push it to the side. We cannot just act like it ain't happening. Like, we gotta deal with the stuff because it's gonna happen. You're gonna have these moments. And I think I listened to a little snippet of a podcast today. I saw on Instagram a clip, and this lady was saying she kind of lost her husband, and she said for 2 years she did not look up. She did not look up. She didn't even want God to think that she thought about him. She was so angry that he did not save her husband from dying. Like, she just knew that he was gonna have a testimony. She just knew that they was gonna celebrate, his life and say how God changed it around. And when he didn't, she was pissed for 2 years. 2 years. Did not say nothing. And I'm just like, we put ourselves in these little prisons of our emotions. Like, because who are you really hurting by being angry like that? Like, it takes so much more energy to be in a negative space than it does to be in a positive one.
You're only hurting yourself.
You hurting yourself, but I understand how you get there. Because
I understand too.
It hurt. Like, you just be mad. You just be mad. Let me read real quick. It said, during this stage, an individual may direct their anger towards the person who died, the doctors, family members, or even religious entities. This replaces the numbness of shock and denial. It is important to address the anger, which is what I said. Blossom said, I experienced unalivings so early that I completely detached from my emotions concerning people unaliving. Listen.
Okay.
And you can. And that's trauma, right? Like, that's a part of your trauma when you experience so much loss. Like, like Scott said, who wants to sit there and deal with that? Nobody wants to feel those feelings. It's a very hard thing. And I can only imagine, like Scott said, she dealt with she started feeling stuff later on, but it probably was happening to you early on and you just didn't notice the effects it had on you when it initially happened, Jen said you missed that parent advice once you can't hear it anymore. Yeah, absolutely.
That's true.
Yes, thank you for the Life Be Life podcast. Thank you.
What's up?
Yes, we will be going over to YouTube at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Less than 15 minutes to watch the episode 2 of season 3 tonight. That episode is about people pleasing. So if you I titled it people pleasing people more than me, because I am a recovering people pleaser. So if you are or know people that are
recovering people pleaser, okay.
I am. If you are a people pleaser or someone,
hopefully you don't look like the type, P.
I don't look like the type.
No, you do not. No,
recovering people pleaser. Okay.
I think you look like the person that's maybe nice to people, but as far as a person pleaser, no, I don't see it in you.
Really?
Okay.
I'm not saying you mean or nothing. I'm just saying.
No. I ain't taking it that way. I'm just surprised. I mean, I guess that's growth, child, because I've had the mentality before to be like, I just want everybody to be happy, and I take that upon myself to make sure everybody is happy, everybody likes me, everybody feels good, and that's exhausting because
she's recovered. Okay, Mom said because she's recovered.
Now I'm dealing with grief, and it hasn't been easy. Yeah, Blossom. Scott says supper ready. What?
That's what I was saying. I said, what's for supper?
Oh, okay. Mommy said it's a part of life, though. Blossom raising her hand. Child, me too, because she's recovered. Yeah. Oh, because I've recovered, right, Mommy? Look, I'm reading the comments late. I'm sorry, y'all. Yes, because I've recovered, and I've been making better choices to not put portion to the side and please other people. Okay. But yeah, if you think that, I think it's a lot of undercover people pleasers that don't even know or have ever categorized themselves to be a people pleaser before. So I think it's an interesting episode to come watch. And if anything resonates with you, then you know that you are too a people pleaser, and you may need to readjust some things and how you handle things. Okay. But
Well,
anyway,
well, alrighty then.
I know it's something good, Scott. Okay. Oh, to my Scott cooking. Okay, yeah. She said it's edible. I can't.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so we'll be over there on YouTube live chatting at 7 p.m. So we got 10 more minutes here. So moving forward, bargaining is another stage of grief, right? And I think that we have all been here for that. Okay. I think we all have said at one point or another, I would give anything. I mean, I think Mr. Reese said that initially when he first started talking about his father. Anything to have a conversation again, anything to, or we feel those moments of guilt and shame and just wanting to, again, give anything to have this connection back, right? Um, and that's just another stage of the grieving process. Um, yeah. Have y'all experienced bargaining? Bargaining?
I can say I haven't.
You haven't? Okay. Okay.
No, I haven't. Mm-mm.
Okay. Okay. Um, so even if it is like, okay, yeah. Okay, that's fine. And another stage of the grieving process is depression, which I know we definitely all have dealt with that in one way or another. And depression doesn't look the same on everybody, to be very clear. I know a lot of people think like it looks like, oh, you just tucked away somewhere, can't do nothing, and able, like, no, depression looks different on different people. So that's why people now are saying like check on your strong friends, because you think somebody is so strong and they got it all together, and they be the ones that really be like drowning, right? But at this stage, a person may experience feelings of emptiness and intense sadness. All right. They may also withdraw from daily activities and the things they once enjoyed. While this stage is difficult, it is a necessary step toward your healing. So even if you are grieving and you go down to a depressive state, don't feel like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I got this low. Like, it's necessary for you to feel your feelings and move forward. Break it down, Pete. There's high functioning depression. For sure. For sure. Hell, I have high functioning depression. Kinda. Like, yes, for sure. It can definitely be a thing. Have you guys experienced depression within your grief?
I know after my parents died, I didn't really do nothing for like days. I just sat in one spot,
Mm-hmm.
just thinking, crying, and everything else. I didn't feel motivated to do anything. I didn't much want to go to work. So,
Yeah.
but I knew I had to get up and move around because life doesn't stop.
It does not. It does not. Even with us all knowing that these things are going to happen, them bills still be due, them jobs still want you there. They give you a few days and they be like, all right, that was enough. But again, grief has no end. So it's like, yes, you should move forward, but also I think we need more time to just kind of like sit in it, I don't know if y'all know, it's different cultures that actually, I think like the Jewish culture has like Shiva, they call it, and they sit with after somebody leaves, they sit for like days on end without leaving that space, whatever, just like to grieve that person. And I believe other cultures have things like that too. I mean, we don't really have nothing in our culture per se, like I have to do this for this amount of time to grieve the loss of this person. That's really interesting, right?
Hmm.
You talking about the repass? That's afterwards though. Like that's after putting. I'm talking about like initially when it happens. Like we don't really have, and even after, like we have the repast right after the service, and then after that, it's nothing.
Yes, we do. That's when your auntie and uncle and grandfather bring over the casseroles and the mac and cheese, and they sit with you and y'all talk about the good times, and then they bring over the casserole and the green bean salad before when they passed away because Uncle Charlie was such a good cook at the church, so they got to make sure y'all eat.
Okay, but we don't really have a name for it. We
It's
just
a
like
pop up. It's called a
that's
pop
just
up.
that's just a common thing to do. Like when my grandfather passed, we were in Georgia, so everybody and they stay in like a country city, whatever country town, and everybody was coming over bringing food like every day, all the time for those days. But like again, I don't know, like, and even in like the Nigerian culture, as far as the Yoruba culture that I know of, they have like customs after the burial of that person, like for months on end, that they have to only wear a certain color to show that they are grieving the loss of this person, like all types of stuff. We don't have that to that extent. So yeah, it's just I love Sky. Sky is a hot mess. We go to the repast and eat. Yeah, we do. Somebody made a TikTok about that the other day. He was at the repast, sitting across. He was doing a skit, sitting across from himself, and the other person, he's sitting there all sad, looking at the chicken and stuff, and the other person over there banging like, yeah. So it was so funny
Girl, the
because that's
repast is
so
everything. That's when you get the updated pictures of the whole family group together that y'all didn't get since grandma passed away. That's when y'all make all the plans y'all never going to have about the family reunion that's never going to take place. Things happen. You got to really embrace what we do.
he was crying in his food. He was still sad, and the other person over there banging their food. He was upset. Like, how's you just sitting here eating all this? And I'm sad.
See, mama get it. That's what we do.
That's what we do. Feed our face to
It
avoid
may
our
it may
belly.
not look like what everybody's look like, but guess what? It's ours. Okay, don't you go touch that now.
Everybody get alone until y'all go to the second repast at somebody's crib and start drinking, and that'd be a whole
Exactly. Exactly.
that'd be a
You
whole
got a
other
3 minute countdown, Portia.
Yeah, I see. Okay, so the last, not one of the last, but another stage of grieving is testing. Testing is the process to find solutions to offer a means of dealing with your loss. Someone may drift in and out of other grieving stages during this time. So, like, testing is like things are happening to test where you are within your grieving process. And that may set you back, that may catapult you forward within your grieving process. So yeah, definitely have experienced that. I feel like I'm experiencing that every goddamn day. But anywho, and the last stage of the grieving process is acceptance.
Ooh.
Okay. Acceptance is the final stage of the grieving process. Acceptance does not mean people feel okay about the loss. Rather, it means that they realize the loss is their new reality. Okay. They understand that while life will not continue as it did before, it will go on. And thank God for that. Okay. This stage may involve reorganizing roles and forming new relationships. So we may not have those people to talk to anymore or those moments to share with them, but we may have replaced it with someone else and opened up a new situation or relationship and space for us to have, or we have other people we can talk to that has also experienced what we are going through, and we can share our stories about those loved ones, and or the person is still here and we can all not like them together and support that person dealing with this as they deal with it. I don't know. It is what it is, right, mommy? For real. So yeah, that is pretty much what that episode was about. If y'all want to, hear more about it, you're more than welcome to go over to anywhere that podcasts are streaming, that you can listen to them. I am everywhere. Life Be Life and Podcast. This is me, my logo, me upside down on a couch, worn out by life. Okay. So I'm gonna leave y'all with these. My last segment that I end every podcast with, which is Speak Life. Okay, y'all see me post my Speak Life affirmations every Sunday. I give y'all a new one to kick the week off, and this one I did for this episode is today's Speak Life affirmation is: I know that anything I lose is being replaced by something much better. Okay, again, today's Speak Life affirmation is: I know that anything I lose is being replaced by something much better. You heard it, you say it, you write it down, and remind yourself to speak that thing and make it happen, because life be life in us all. I love y'all dearly. Let's go on over to YouTube. It's 7:00. Live chat over there to talk about people pleasing. I love y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Don't forget about the Cooking with P cooking show.
Yes, I'll be back with Cooking with P this week. All right. See y'all. Bye-bye.
Bye.